In this video, we're going to take a look at expanding and simplifying double brackets. Now, to start with here, there's two practice questions or two examples that we're going to work through together, and then on the next page, there's two practice questions for you to have a go at. So let's start by expanding and simplifying this first example here. Now, there's a few different ways you can actually expand and simplify double brackets like this. The way I like to do it is using something called file. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use different pen colours just to highlight this. So I'm going to use a red pen for the F. Now the F here tells us that we multiply the first two terms together. So file just tells us the order in which we multiply double brackets. So I'm going to multiply the first two terms together. So when I say the first two terms, this is my first term in the first bracket, and this is my first term in the second bracket. So we're going to multiply these together. I'm going to do x times by x. So x times by x, that would give me x squared. Okay, so that's the F done. So let's change pen color here. Let's have a look in this green one. So the next letter is O, and this tells us we multiply the outside terms together. So outside. So in that case, this is going to be the two furthest away. So it's going to be this x here and the 6. So in this case, this is positive 6. So what's x times by 6? In that case, we get 6 lots of x. So we're going to get plus 6x. Okay, so that's the O done. Taking a look now in a different colour, we're looking at the I now. So now we're looking at the inside term. So these are the two closest together. So these are the two that are going to be closest together. So this is inside. So we're going to do 3 times by x. And always take care of the signs here. So in this case, everything's positive, so we don't have to worry too much. But we'll see on the next example why we have to be careful. So we're going to do 3 times by x. That will give me plus 3x. And then finally, let's do this in orange. We've got L. So the L here stands for the last two terms multiplying together. Okay, so last. So the last term in each bracket. So we're going to take this 3 here, and we're going to times by the last term in the second bracket, which is this 6. So a really common mistake here is people put 9. They do addition by accident, but we're going to be multiplying these two numbers together. So we're doing 3 times by 6. So 6, 12, 18. So we get plus 18 here. Okay, so just be careful. Don't write 9, really common mistake, but we're multiplying together. Okay, so what we've done there is we've expanded. What we need to do now is simplify. So do this all in one colour now just to simplify here. So what I do is I start at the left term here, the furthest left term. So this is just x squared. Now I look along my other terms and I check for any other x squared terms. So this is just a power of 1 here. This is 6x to the power of 1. So we can't do anything with that. This is 3x to the power of 1. So we can't add anything to x squared here. And this is just 18. So we definitely can't do anything with that. So in that case, because it's just x squared and there's no other x squared terms, then we just leave it as it is. So that's just going to be x squared at the front. Okay. Now we take a look at this 6x here. And is there anything else we can add with that? Well, we can't do anything with the x squared. So we always just keep working to the right. We've got this 3x here. So this is a power of 1. This is also a power of 1. So we can add these together. So if I've got 6x and we add 3x, how many x's have I got now? Well, in this case, we'd have 9 lots of x. So we get plus 9x there. Okay. And then finally, we just got this plus 18 here. Remember, we can't work with anything on the left now. We've got nothing on the right. So we just get plus 18 there. Okay. And that's our solution. So we've simplified there and we've already expanded. So there we go. That's our solution to the first example. Now again here, we're going to expand using file again. So let's just work through this one now. So this one's slightly more difficult because instead of it just being y at the front of both brackets, we've got this 2y here, but it doesn't change it in with too much difficulty. For example, all I'm going to do is just take 2y and times it by y. So that's the first two multiplied together. So I'm going to do 2y times by y. So in that case, I'd get 2y squared. Okay, so 2y squared. We now do the outside. So we now do the two furthest apart. So that's going to be 2y and minus 1. So 2y times minus 1. So this is where we have to be careful now with the signs. I'm going to get minus 2y here. Okay, so minus 2y. So that's the outside done. And if you prefer, take these as you go along. So we've done the first, we've done the outside. We now need to do the inside. So we now do 1 times by y. So that would give me plus y. So that was 1 times by y. And now we do the last one. So 1 times minus 1, giving me minus 1 there. Okay, so 1 times by minus 1 gives me the last one. So what we need to do now is simplify here. So as we go along, let's simplify. So we've got 2y squared here. We look to the right. Well, we've got no other powers of y squared here. So this is just to the power of 1. This is also to the power of 1. And this doesn't have any y's. So we can't add anything to 2y squared. So we just leave it as it is. So that's going to be 2y squared. We now move along to the next term. So I've got minus 2y here. Remember, we don't take anything to the left into account. So we just ignore anything to the left. So looking to the right here, we've got plus y. So if I've got minus 2y and we add y, which we can do because they both have a power of 1. So if you find it easier as well, write the powers in. Okay, so that's 2y to the 1 plus y to the 1. In this case, like we said, we can simplify this. So minus 2y to the 1 plus y to the 1. That'll give me minus y there. Okay. And then finally, we've got the minus 1 here. Nothing to the right and everything's to the left. So we just leave it as it is. Okay. So 2y squared minus y minus 1. So just recapping what we did there, because we didn't use the colours to kind of coordinate this, but we've just expanded using FOIL. So we multiplied the first two together. So 2y times by y, that gave me 2y squared. We then did the outside term. So these are the two furthest apart. So that was 2y times by minus 1, giving me minus 2y. We then did the inside. So 1 times by y, giving me plus y. And then finally, positive 1 times negative 1. That was for the last two, giving me minus 1. Okay, and once we simplify, that's what we get there. So that was two examples that we've worked through together. Now it's your turn to have a go at a couple of practice questions. So like always, pause the video now, have a quick go, and then we'll take a look in a moment at what you should have got. So hopefully you got an okay with these two practice questions. Let's take a look now at what you should have got here. So again, we're just expanding and simplifying double brackets here. I'm going to use FOIL again. So remember the first two multiply together here. So I'm going to do a times a. So in that case, a times a, that would give me a squared. We now do the outside term. So these are the two furthest apart. So at both ends here. So we take this a and we times it by minus 3. So again, take care. Don't times this by positive 3. We do include the negative here. So a times by minus 3, that would give me minus 3a. We now do the inside term. So the two closest together. So this is the minus 2 and the a. In that case, that will give me minus 2a. And then finally, we do the last two together. So minus 2 times minus 3. And again, just be very careful with your signs here. That would give me positive 6. Okay, so a minus times a minus would give me a positive number. So we get plus 6 there. So what we need to do now is just collect like terms and simplify here. So this a squared, you'll start noticing the pattern here. We usually can't do anything with the a squared once it's just a double bracket like this, typically. So we're just going to get a squared there. There is no other a squared terms here. Remember, this is a power of 1. Same here. So we move along to the next term then. We've got minus 3a to the power of 1. So taking a look at everything to the right, I've got minus 2a to the 1. So the powers match, so we can add here. So minus 3a plus minus 2a, or in other words, just minus 3a minus 2a. Well, in that case, that's going to be minus 5a. Okay. And then finally, we've got the plus 6 here. There's nothing else we can do with that. So we just put plus 6 there. Okay. And there we have it. So that's what we should have got for the first problem question. And if we take a look at this final problem question here, we're asked to expand and simplify 3a plus 1 times a plus 3. So here, again, just using FOIL, we start with the first two. So we do 3a times by a. So in that case, that would give me 3a squared. So we get 3a squared. We then do the outside term, so the two furthest apart. So 3a times positive 3, so that would give me 9a. So 3 lots of 3a, that's 9a. We then do 1 times by a, that would give me plus a. And then finally we do 1 times positive 3, giving me positive 3 there. So 1 times by positive 3 gives me positive 3. So we've expanded, but we haven't simplified yet, so we do need to make sure we simplify. We've got 3a squared. There is no other square terms. This is 9a to the 1. That's also a to the 1. So we can't add anything to the 3a squared. So we leave it as it is. So that's 3a squared. We've got 9a to the 1 plus a to the 1. So that would give me plus 10a. You can write 10a to the 1. It's not technically incorrect. We just don't need to write that power of 1. And then finally, we've got plus 3 here. And there we have it. So that's the solution to our final practice question. So we're not quite finished there. I just want to run through 3 more examples here. We'll kind of speed run through these, just so we don't take up too much time, but just some slightly different examples of expanding double brackets that I wanted to show here. So for the first one here, we don't actually write 2 brackets down. We're using this index notation here, so we're squaring it, but it is the same idea. Okay, we are multiplying by 2 brackets here. So what I've got is y plus 4 times y plus 4. Okay, so if you ever see squared notation in a bracket, do write it as 2 brackets. Don't leave it as 1 bracket with a power. Make sure you write all the brackets out. So expanding this using FILE then, multiplying the first 2 together. So we do y times by y, so that gives me y squared. We then do y times positive 4, that will give me 4y. We then do 4 times by y, so that would give me 4y again. And then finally we do 4 times by the last term here, so 4 again, so 4 squared, giving me 16. Now we want to ensure that we simplify here. We've expanded, but we haven't simplified. So going along, we've got y squared. There's no other y squared terms, that's power of 1. Same here, also power of 1. So we can't do anything with that. So we leave that as it is. 4y to the 1 plus 4y to the 1. So adding those together, that gives me 8y there. Okay. Again, you can write the power of 1 if you really want, but it's not necessary. And then finally, we've got the plus 16 here. We can't do anything with that. Okay. So your solution there should be y squared plus 8y plus 16. And again, if you do feel confident enough to have a go at these, do pause the video now, have a quick go. But if not, let's work through together. So taking a look at this one now, we're asked to expand and simplify. So again, I'm just using FILE here. So I'm going to do 3a times 1. So 3a times 1. So that's going to give me 3a. We're then going to do 3a times the outside. So we're doing the O now. So the outside term, so 3a times 5a. So that's going to give me 15a squared. So plus 15a squared. Now we do the inside. So that's the 2 closest together. So we do 2 times by 1. That would give me plus 2. And then finally we do the last 2 together. So plus 2 times positive 5a here. And that will give me plus 10a. So like you can see here, this one's a little bit funny. Normally the a squared or the multiple of a squared would be at the front. But in this case it's not, but it doesn't matter. Let's just start by simplifying here. So I've got 3a to the 1. We can't do, we can't add 15a squared to this 3a to the 1. They don't have the same power. So we look along. Can't do anything with the 2. There's no a there. But this 10a here, this is a power 1. So we can add those together. So 3a plus 10a to the 1. That's going to give me 13a. We've then got 15a squared. There is no other squared terms. That's a 2 and that's a 10a, which we've already simplified. So in that case, we just get 15a squared. And then finally, we just got this plus 2 here. Now, usually when we have a quadratic like this, we give the squared term first. So in this case, 15a squared first. We then give the a term, so that'd be 13a. And then just the constant at the end, so plus 2 there. Okay, and that would be our solution. Now, you're not technically incorrect again by giving it in this form, but it is just a bit nicer to give it in this form here. Okay, so that's what we should get for that one. And then the very final one here, again, just expanding and simplifying these 2 brackets. So again, I'm just going to use FILE. So we multiply the first 2 together. So 3 times by x, so that will give me 3x. We then do the outside, so the 2 furthest apart, so 3 times positive 7, that would give me plus 21. We then do the inside, so I've got minus x times x, so be very, very careful here. This would give me minus x squared, so minus x squared. And then finally, we've got minus x times 7, so that will give me minus 7x there. Okay. So what we need to do now is just simplify, and then we're done. So I've got 3x here, again, to the power of 1, and I've got 7x to the power of 1 here. So I've got 3x. We can't do anything with the 21 to the 3x. We can't do anything with the minus x squared with the 3x, but this minus 7x, we can add these together. So 3x plus minus 7x, that's the same as 3x minus 7x. Well, that's going to give me minus 4x. So we get minus 4x there. We've got the 21 here. There is no other constants on their own, so that's just going to give me plus 21. And then finally, we've got minus x squared here. So minus x squared. So again, giving it in this form here where the squared term comes first, that will be minus x squared. Then we have the x term on its own, so it'd be minus 4x. And then finally the constant, so plus 21 there. And there we have it. So like you can see, slightly more complicated, but nothing too crazy. So that's what we should have got for the very final one on this video. So that brings us to the end of this video. Hopefully you found this video quite helpful on expanding and simplifying double brackets. Thanks for watching.